Hey, I know it's been a minute since I posted in this channel, but I'm gonna get back to that. I'm going to slowly go into that weekly upload grind. I hope I can get that up pretty soon again. But that's not what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about my drum studio tour. You guys might not know this, but there has been various changes in my drum studio for a couple of years. And today I'm gonna show you the final drum studio. I mean, you guys know when setups, they say, oh, they're gonna do the final setup that they're gonna use for most of the time. There is never a final setup. It always changes over time. All right, so let's get started. This drum set is a PDP by W Encore series, and it's a 5-piece drum set. It has a powerful poplar shells for deep and warm tone, sparkle finish which is a ruby red color, and double brace hardware for durability, with a true pitch tension rods and telescoping spurs for precision tuning. I've been having this drum set for, let's say, 8 years. I got this for Christmas around 2016, let's say that, December 2016. The bass drum size is a 22 by 16. The first tom is a 10 by 7. The second tom is a 12 by 8. The floor tom is a 16 by 14. And the snare is a 14 by 5. The 14-inch snare from the actual PDP drum set is not there, but that one is a DDrum hybrid snare and it's a 13 by 6, and it also has a trigger inside of it which is touching their snare head. You're gonna see it because there is a DDrum label on the top of the head, and that indicates where that trigger is, and that MIDI cable is right on the left side of the snare drum. You will see it. Now let's go with the cymbal stands. For the left and right cymbals on the front of the drum set are the PDP PDC B710 700 series, and it's a lightweight boom cymbal stand. It has a very nice quality and they hold up pretty well with the cymbals based on the weight. And the cymbals are not that heavy because they have a 16 and an 18-inch cymbal, which is a pretty top notch. It is really good and really stable. And for the right cymbal, you might be surprised, and it's the original cymbal stand that came with the PDP drum set. Now we're gonna talk about the triggers that you guys might have seen in my toms. The same thing that you saw in the DDrum snare that I have on the drum set, the same triggers are also DDrum. On my 10-inch, 12-inch, and 16-inch toms have the DDrum Chrome Elite triggers right on top of the heads. They have a really nice chrome color to it, they look really nice, and they are pretty precise if you have the right settings. And it also depends on how you play it differently, and also depends on the styles of music that you play around the drum set. And specifically for the kick drum, on the kick drum is a Roland RT30K. So I have the Roland trigger, but why not the DDrum kick trigger? I don't really like the way it is built. If you look at it right on the outside of the trigger, you can see there's a screw that you will use with your drum key to tune it. It doesn't really tighten the kick trigger with the kick drum by itself. By the time you screw it, it doesn't really get tight, but if you try to move it, you can see that it's moving sideways, and I did not really like that. So that's why I decided to go with the Roland RT30K kick trigger, because you just light it in there, and the piezo piece and the foam on it, it has a really nice design. It's a triangular form, and you can see the tip of that foam. It touches the drum head on the kick, and it's not like the DDrum trigger that is just this is how tall it will be, and it will make a very close contact with the trigger. But the Roland is about that, about this long, and here's the tip of it, and it has a triangular form. It's a bit away from the piezo piece by itself, so it really tries to reduce the double triggering, which is top notch. I really like it. And for the thrum that I used to sit on, is a PDP PDD T710T. This is a thrum with a padded tractor style seat, and by the look of it is really comfortable. It looks comfortable when you sit down, and you can feel a difference with that ergonomic feel versus the round seats that you will usually see with other drummers. So this is why I chose this one, because it's really comfortable. And now we're gonna talk about the cymbals. Right now you will not see the actual cymbals on the drum set. Those are the quiet cymbal packs that I use when I'm practicing or when I'm not recording. But what I use when I'm recording are the Silgen S series. Why did I choose the Silgen S series? I liked it when I first looked it up on YouTube. I listened to it and I really loved how it sounded, and also by the price, and it's pretty good price if you're gonna start on a budget, especially for me. It has a really nice rock style, and also has a nice punk rock style feeling. I do not have the video of me showing it, but I'll drop in a picture of how it looks like on the drum set. And for the splash, it's a cheap version of a Minol, and it's one of those splashes for those cymbal packs that beginner drummers will buy for when they start playing drums for the first time. I will eventually buy an S series one as well, just to fit with the rest of the cymbals that I have. So I usually had a hi-hat, 2 crashes, and a ride for quite the longest time, and now I have another cymbal on the back, which I will probably soon buy another Silgen S cymbal, probably a 19-inch, just to make it sound more bigger because it's way back there. Okay, now that we talk about cymbals, how do we capture them? So that's what we're gonna talk about, the microphones. So I have 4 Samson CO2s, and I chose these because they are pretty cheap and they sound really good. And as you can see on the frequency response, and it's pretty flat, and it's also boosted a little bit on the highs, which I really like. I have 2 overheads, a left and a right, to capture the cymbals on the sides, and I have 2 more on the close-ups. On the left side is the hi-hat pedal by itself to capture the hi-hats and the splash, and on the right side it captures the X-hats and the right cymbal. So that's how I capture the cymbals. And I have the triggers, how I capture the hits. Okay, but Kevin, where are the interfaces? What interfaces do you use? So here we go. So to capture the cymbals, I'm using a Focusrite 18i20. And I'm capturing the cymbals on the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th channel. For 3 and 4 are the overheads on the top. And for the 5 and 6 is for the close-up shots. And for the triggers, I'm using a DDrum DDTI trigger interface. Quick note, it's not a drum module. It doesn't have any sounds on it. It's called a MIDI interface. It's a trigger interface. It's MIDI for a reason. So as you can see on the back, I have the kick, snare, tom 1, 2, 3 all plugged in, and I have an MIDI out routing all the way to the MIDI input of the Focusrite interface. Now before I finish this video, and I totally forgot about this, I'm gonna show you the hi-hat pedal and the bass pedals. The hi-hat pedal has 2 feet, so this one is a DW3000 series. For most of my life, I've been using a 3-put hi-hat pedal, which is pretty common. We have always been used to using a 3-put hi-hat pedal. But when it comes to bass pedals, especially double bass pedals, that foot always gets in the way when you're trying to put the hi-hat pedal and the kick pedal together. And that foot is getting over the kick pedal, which you can barely get access to. It doesn't work. So that's why using a hi-hat with 2 feet, they are sitting back while the pedal is sitting up front. So which means the kick pedal and the hi-hat pedal are together, but you don't have that 3rd foot on the way. And for the bass drum pedals, it's a double pedal from Pearl, a P932 longboard double bass, and it is single chain with infinitely adjustable beater angles, power shifter longboard, and a dual surface beater. Those surface beaters that came with the P932s, so that dual surface beaters, you guys know that has 2 sides. It has a softer one, and on the other side is plastic, which is a hard surface. But every time I was playing with the bass drums, you will hit the bass drum, but every single hit you can just see them slowly turning away from the surface that it's hitting, and I didn't really like it, so that's why I switched to the Pearl Demon Drive control core beaters, and these have a felt material. Let me also talk about the drum heads that I have on these drums. The heads I have installed currently are the Remo silent stroke heads for the snare and the toms. And for the kick drum, I have an R-tom mesh head. So I have two sets of silent drum heads. I have the Remo ones of the silent stroke, and I have the R-tom mesh heads. I have both of the sets and they are pretty good, but when I was going to try the R-tom mesh heads, they have a circular patch in the middle which brings the tone from the drum shell by itself. It brings the tone out, and while the Remo silent stroke head doesn't. Well, it still brings out a little bit of the tone from the original drum, but the R-tom you might want if you guys want to hear the original tone from it, although it's going to be a little bit louder, but I still choose the Remo silent stroke heads over those. And you might have seen in the bass drum there are two pillows installed inside of it, because when it comes to triggering, we want to get those precise hits and we don't want any double triggering. And last but not least, my peripherals and my drumsticks. The drumsticks I use are Big Furf 5B with a wood tip, and for the in-ears I use are the Shure SE215. And that's pretty much it for the drum studio tour. If I missed anything on this drum set tour, please let me know in the comments, and you can also leave a comment of what you want to know more about these products and what I use. Give this video a like if you enjoyed the tour, and it also wouldn't bother if you hit the subscribe button. Alright guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.